Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Aliit by Beskar. I'm very happy to see what our crew kind of figures out this session. Because I personally feel like the dog that chased the car and then caught it and is like, okay, now what? Because this is a big Star Destroyer, and now we have it. So there's so many opportunities and possibilities for us to explore with this this massive ship that we have. So I'm excited to see what our crew here decides to do with that opportunity. Before we find out about that, though, I'm going to say a few words about our sponsors, and then give everybody a chance to introduce themselves and their characters, and then we'll dive into it. So first of all, sponsors, let me get those links into chat for you real quick. The first one being Fundamental RPG, which is a simple D20 system. You can run anything from high fantasy to sci-fi and everything in between on it. We actually do that on the channel this season. We've got 4 shows, very different shows running on the system. It looks like this. You can pick up your own copy at Amazon if you want the physical book, like I have in my hand here. Or if you prefer PDFs or digital copies that you can have like on a tablet or something like that. That version is available at coffee.com/raven, like it says at the bottom of the screen. And until the end of July, it is available for half off, which means you can get it for just under $10 for the PDF. So you can pick that up at coffee.com/raven, like it says at the bottom of the screen. Also at that same site, you can find the shop for Intrepid, which is adventuring gear for real life, accessories and apparel and drinkware and other cool stuff like that with a tabletop theme to it. Go check that out. You'll probably find something that you will enjoy over there. And then Die Hard Dice, which they sell just incredible polymer and metal dice and dice accessories and adjacent things. They recently sent me this really cool Fey Queen set. It's one of their metal sets. It is my very favorite one. And I keep it on my desk and use it to roll for usually all the bad guys in these games that I'm running. So yeah, they're really pretty and they're really, really nice. You can pick up your own set at dieharddice.com, and if you use the code BlackFeatherJune, all one word with a capital B and a capital J, you can get 10% off your entire order, and that code should work until the end of this month, the end of June. And then finally, if you want to catch up on this show or others that we have on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network. Just go to the stream library and look for Blackfeather Guild, and that's where you can find all that content. And I just barely got a lot of the last couple of weeks worth of episodes updated. Normally they're updated a lot faster, but I fell behind a little bit this month. So if you have been waiting for some of those episodes to show up, they should be there now. And that's all for sponsors. So we'll start with the top left with V. Tell us a little bit about Anaka and yourself.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. I'm an artist. I work primarily in pencil and watercolor, as well as some digital art. And you can check out my work if you'd like to do that. I have an art Twitter, which is at Pepero Draws, and that's Pepero like the candy. Spelling's under my name card there. But I play Anaka. Anaka Ta. She is a dark force using Togruta. And she is just kicking it along for the ride for the moment. We haven't really, delved into what she's doing here. All that we really know is that she is here, gestures vaguely with this group on the request of Bevan, who called her in for some missions. And she just kind of stuck. It's like when you throw, those old sticky hands that you just throw at the wall. That's kind of what Anaka's doing at the moment. She's here until she's not. Yeah. You stick them temporarily, and then eventually when they're ready, they'll fall off. I feel like that's what Anaka's here. She's here until she's not. She's kicking it for the moment. But, hopefully in the future, we'll kind of get some of her story. But yeah, that's Anaka.
Awesome. And then next we'd normally have Nikki. She should be catching up with us a little bit later. She wasn't able to hop in at the beginning here. But she plays Ilsa, who's a really cool character. You should check out some of the stuff that she's done on our previous episodes, and go give her a follow. Go give her a follow at Nick Cool on Twitter. Also, Hope Tracy, who couldn't be with us tonight. They are super awesome as well. They normally play Merrick's, which is a Mando character that recently has sort of joined the crew as part of this Star Destroyer capturing business. So give them a follow on Twitter as well, at HopeTracy71, and you can catch them next week. Which brings us over to Matt. Tell us a little bit about Jai and yourself.
Oh boy, hi, I'm Matt. I'm a content creator of various things, and I play Jai, who is a sweet summer child who is growing up the hard way and learning just how much fun growing up can be. Spoilers, not at all. But he's having a good time, and he found a new big brother, so, you know, that's exciting.
Very cool. All right, and then last but not least, we've got Par. Tell us a little bit about Gracchus and yourself.
Hey there. Par, just a dude on the internet who enjoys role-playing a lot more than he originally thought he would. And I am playing Gracchus, my very interesting Sith Ewok that was foretold in the first season, coming straight from the forests of Endor. Gracchus was once known as a potential candidate to be a shaman for his tribe, until it was discovered that he was not hearing the great tree spirits and not relying on their voice to give any wisdom. Instead, he was hearing darker voices, something similar to the night spirit that the Dulak worship on Endor. And so he was cast out, an exile, roaming around the forest's floors of Endor until his master found him and decided to take him up as a project, a Sith project. Before that project could be completed, his master moved on. Forgot about him, it seemed, until one day, Endor was getting blown to shit, and Imperials showed up to come and get Gracchus. Apparently, his master had sent for him. And so, he set off into the universe and ended up with this happy little band.
Awesome. All right, and that just leaves me. I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for The Raven Evermore, which is my brand for all the various things that I do, most of which are tabletop related or adjacent. My link tree is there in chat, which is just linktr.ee/theraven, like it's spelled below my face here. And then, yeah, I play everybody else in the galaxy, including Bevan Cal, who is a former clone trooper, one of the ones made towards the very end of the Clone War, roughly the same age and look as Boba Fett, under the helmet at least. His armor looks very different. And then also Kieran Lal, who's become a member of the crew, former Jedi, who's now sort of like not quite a gray Jedi, because she really doesn't consider herself a Jedi anymore at all. But somewhere along the lines of that sort of philosophy when it comes to using the Force. Yeah, so I think that's everything. We left off last session. You had captured the Star Destroyer, gotten away before some more Imperial ships could catch up with you, rendezvoused with Bevan and a bunch of other Mandos, and now essentially you have not total run of the ship, because Bevan and a few other Mando leaders are sort of captaining the ship themselves. But aside from like making every decision about where the ship goes, you have free run of it. You can use anything that's on the ship. You can make suggestions on where it goes. And you can upgrade it if you would like, if you have the credits and mechanics to do so, or requisition upgrades to it. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this ship, or you can also just sort of chill on it until you have objectives that you want to accomplish, and then take off in your own ship and still do that as well. So what's everybody doing now that you've presumably a few days have passed? Ilsa's probably started taking over the kitchen. People have picked out quarters, that sort of thing. So what are you all doing?
Jai is in the main super long hangar bay with our ship and is supervising like just a half dozen things at once. Like he's got some people unloading our TIE defenders and the A-wing, so they all have their own little spots, and is also ordering some droids to go out on the surface and get the paint job working on the top. And it's just kind of like, okay, we need to get a couple more landing craft in here, and it's just like organizing all of the maintenance in this whole bay, just like ordering every droid in freehand around. It's kind of like, come on, we're gonna get this thing great.
Okay. Yeah, nobody's really arguing with you on that. Everybody's pretty much listening to you. There are some Mandos that walk in and out that will either treat you like you're in charge, or there are some that are like, I don't think you're really in charge, but I'm not going to argue with you. So you get mixed reactions to your orders, but they're all like, okay, yeah, that sounds reasonable. I'll go do that.
I'm sorry, did you capture this boat? No. Do what I say.
Hope isn't here to say it, but I have no doubt that Merrick's would be making references to Jai being a captain now every time something like that happens.
The more that comes up, the more Jai is going to just like... Jai hates it, but he's not like fighting it anymore.
I love that.
But he still hates it a lot. And it's definitely like, anytime someone brings it up, it's just like, you shut your mouth. I'll feed you to a Jedi. And I know where to find them all.
I have this image in my head of how Jai's reacting to this, and it's similar to, if anybody's an SG-1 fan, how O'Neill reacted becoming a general. I was just sort of like, I stick it to the man. I can't be the man.
I love the pay raise. I love the parking spot. Jai has not yet made the jump to, if I take the position, I get to make the orders.
I see.
And I feel like nobody actually really wants that, because that's dangerous.
I mean, that's also fair. But okay.
He's not that grown up.
I think I have a good mental image now of how Jai's reacting to this, so that's great. All right. What about Grakus?
So this ship was under repairs when we first invaded it. Were there other sort of ships on it, like smaller ships?
No. There might have been like maybe one or two little shuttles, really basic craft. But essentially the ship had been fully refurbished, but the weapons hadn't been installed yet, and it did not have its complement of troops and fighters and things like that put onto it yet.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Cool. So
there probably are some fighters now because a bunch of Mandos have come on board, so there may be a few extra ships here and there, but not a full complement.
Not after that. Drake is kind of realizing that he's got 6 dark troopers under his command. Sort of realizes, I kind of need a ship to transport that. And my
I see.
my Team Grakus needs a transport ship to function. So Grakus is currently has only really locked off the droid charging room, basically where the droids stay. Like that room and the supply closet are basically Rakus likes to think his own little domain. He's got to just he's just laid claim to that area.
I think with that, there's probably some Mandos that really don't particularly like the fact that you're sort of there with these droids unsupervised. But everybody so far has just been like, well, that's not my problem. So,
just giggles anytime somebody comes by with a disapproving look.
Yeah, basically, until they figure out whose monkeys and circus that issue belongs to, nobody's going to bother you about it.
Yeah, but no extra ships, and Rakus is kind of just chilling, not leaving that area too much, because he does sort of realize, all right, I'm an odd sort of man out here. I'm gonna keep it in lock for now.
Okay. Would Grakus go looking for a ship by chance? Like just looking around?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do I'll let you choose. You can do gather information if you want to ask around for if there are any spare ships, or you can do perception to just look for one that nobody seems to be using.
Oh, it's actually the same. Huh. I think perception.
All right.
More of a try to be unseen, unless I'm where they know I usually am.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll roll a nat 1 because
Oh no.
man, the dice give me nothing. I tried to tell you. They give me nothing.
It's been uncannily consistent low rolls for this campaign. I don't know why. Okay, with the nat 1, let's see how bad the nat 1 is. Moderately bad. I'm gonna say that like you find one that you think is unused. And you know, maybe you've loaded some of the droids onto there already, or like you've started reconfiguring controls or something like that. And that's when a big burly, fully armored, like heavy armor, like the collar plate, and like the thigh pads and everything, like super heavy armored Mando comes in and just like, what are you doing in here? It seems pretty upset by the fact that you've messed with his shuttle.
Oh, sorry. Is this yours?
It just looks at you like, it does the little helmet head tilt, and it's like, yes, it's mine. It has my name on the outside of it.
Rakus pokes head out confused and looks at the side.
There's just like a small mythosaur skull on the side. That's all that's there.
I think you're using, well, Rakus thinks you're using the term name a little fluidly there.
He just looks at it. He's like, it's a symbol, okay? It's very deep. Means a lot to me. Just get off my ship.
Fine. No need to twist Rakus's arm.
He mutters something about, like, if you don't get off, he's going to twist your arm. But as you're being almost literally kicked off of this ship, you do see something that you hadn't noticed before, which is on the other side of the hangar bay. There is one of the really old, and the model number escapes me, but it's like one of the three-winged shuttles from like Return of the Jedi, but they're the really early version, the same one that's used in the Bad Batch. It is extremely old, it is very beat up, and it looks like it's been neglected for quite a while. It probably barely made it onto the ship from whoever brought it on. And that actually is abandoned. Nobody wants it.
Bracus makes a lot of displeased noises and looks looks again very hungrily at this Mando ship. Well, Bracus will depart for now.
He just sort of grunts and closes the door to the shuttle.
Jenkins, Tompkins. Let's see what we can do with that one.
The two technicians nervously come running up and offer you a salute, very, very crisp salute, and sort of nod, and they're falling all over themselves to get to the shuttle first. They're like, yes, sir. Lord Gracus, we'll get right on this. We'll get this fixed up as soon as we can. And they're not starship mechanics, so it might take them a while to fix it themselves.
It's all good. Gracus tries to get them anything they need.
Is this all happening in the main launch bay?
Do I even have credits?
Probably, yeah.
Actually, I do have credits. I'll give my meager credits to them.
Okay.
If this is happening in the main launch bay, can I try to see this going on?
Figure it out.
Sure. Let's do a perception roll.
There's a disturbance in my hangar bay.
Heck off.
26.
Yeah, you probably notice some commotion, probably right around the time that the Mando closes that first shuttle. Is when your attention's drawn to what's going on.
So Jai's just gonna kind of like just slowly saunter over while Gracus is like distracted talking to these techs, and just try to like just do one of those where it just like shows up like at Gracus' side and just goes, "What you doing?"
It takes Gracus a second to notice you, because after he was called Lord Gracus, he looks genuinely conflicted about whether he liked that or not. Because his teachings were, one day, if you play your cards right, people will see you as a master, a dark master of the Force. But also, he's having been in the seat of responsibility as a shaman in training, at least. That didn't turn out so well the last time. So, Gracus has that moment of, conflict, and then Gracus is sorting out transportation for my dark troopers.
Do I know about these dark troopers?
Yes, you would. Gracus was able to essentially reprogram, with the help of a couple of technicians, 6 of the dark troopers that were left.
Oh, good. That's totally safe and fine.
Yeah.
Just to be like, you're sending them somewhere?
No, they need a home for in-between missions.
Okay. Cool. Hey, tech boys?
They're the 2 technicians who are like junior grade lieutenants. Come rushing in. They're still in Imperial uniforms, but they essentially were spared because they were able to do this with the droids. So they're very nervous, and they salute you. They're like, yes.
Jai's just gonna look at him and go, okay, one, don't do that. Two, do y'all know anything about spaceship maintenance?
I know how to fix maintenance droids.
So no?
No.
Okay, cool. You two chuckleheads. What was my older brother's name? The person that I just decided was my new older brother?
Zale.
Zale. All right.
Zale Vex.
He's still alive, right? He didn't die tragically last time, did he?
No, he didn't die.
Oh, thank God. Whew, good. You two are going to go find Zale, and you're going to tell him that Captain Jai said that if y'all are going to continue to serve him this ship, you need to go through Mando basic training.
Rakus looks directly at Jai.
Yes.
Jai, as fun as Grakus thinks that would be, wouldn't it be more important to have them do just grunt work?
Jai does not break eye contact with Grakus. He pulls a Hydra spanner out of his belt and flings it at one of the two of them.
Okay.
Just like, if they can dodge, cool. That'll just be, he'll play off of that. But like, he's just like, whack, just like flings it just kind of right at him. Not like a headshot, but like a gut shot.
It hits one of them. They try to move out of the way, but they're not fast enough, and it like smacks off their sternum. They're like, ow. But they manage to catch it in their hand.
Jai just like holds his gauntlet out towards them with it, just like, come on. And it's still not breaking eye contact with Grakus, and just goes like, no, they're not doing grunt work on my loading bay if they can't dodge a wrench. I'm going to go get you a proper tech to fix your shuttle. And after they get some basic training under their belts and know how to actually be soldiers and can fight and do stuff, they can continue to be your lackeys.
Rakus feels so many things in that moment. Grakus laughs, first of all. It's not a giggle. It's a full belly, like hearty laugh. That sounds drastically different from anything you've heard from him so far. Sounds downright normal.
Does this remind Jai of the way Anaka laughs when she gets real punchy?
No.
Okay, good.
It sounds like he thoroughly enjoyed himself. It could be your mind playing tricks on you, but it feels a little warm.
Okay, good. That's terrifying. Go on.
Second, Grakus sort of looks at because he's kind of embarrassed that he just saw that happen, and he looks very just, when somebody's looking at you, and the face doesn't automatically read judgment, but then you look into the eyes and you're just like, man, you're really tearing me down in your head right now. Grakus is giving the most, like, I'm trying not to judge you, but it's not working at all. Look.
Who's he looking at?
He's looking at both techs.
Okay.
Just like they both got hit with the same spanner.
Grakus thinks that we shouldn't see each other for a little while.
So these techs have been standing there looking like, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but it like, mom said to do one thing and then dad's standing right there and said to do a different thing. And they're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And then both parents just looked at them and said, by the way, you're
And at that moment, Anaka walks in.
Oh boy!
Yes. Okay, what does Anaka do?
Look, low key, I kind of want Anaka to have seen Jai do this. Like,
Ark just walks up. You know, I'm not involved, but I saw you from across the bay here. And even I have to say.
Anaka's just like standing on the other side of the bay and she cups her hands around her mouth and she's like, "Good shot, Jai."
Jai's like, heck yeah, best friend.
No, I don't think Anaka is in the bay right now. Let's not make these techs piss themselves. I feel like if Anaka were to walk in at this point, they would just kind of cease to exist. So let's spare them that for a moment.
These two techs, too, Lieutenant Tompkins and Lieutenant Jenkins, are like fresh out of the academy. Didn't want to go into this field in the first place, but it was like, this is what Dad did, it's what Granddad did, and we're expected to be here. Oh
boy, their first day's gone really well, huh?
Yeah, there weren't a lot of other job opportunities from where they're from, so they just sort of got forced into it, and then their first tour on a ship that was supposed to see no action, and here they are. So yeah, they
saw the most action.
They are tripping over themselves to go find Zale, which I don't think Jai actually described. So they're literally going up to every Mando and nervously asking them if they're Zalevacs.
As soon as they walk away, Jai gets on like a comm and just kind of like does like a quick override, and like all Mandos wearing their buckets. It's just like, "Hey Zale, can you be as far away from the landing bay as possible? To all other Vode. When two techs come asking you if you're Zale, don't tell them where he is."
Yeah, the rest of the day, like literally the next 24-hour period for them, aside from eating and sleeping, is literally just every Mando they talk to, sending them on a wild goose chase into some other part of the ship.
This is perfect and everything I wanted out of this. And once they're done, John's gonna like look back at Gracchus and go like, "Look, if I know anything, it's that lackeys should be effective in a lot of arenas."
Gracchus is not too concerned as long as I can, fix the droids, and, if I can't do that, then, sometimes things outlive their usefulness.
Okay, well, if you get tired of them, we'll keep them on and have them do something for us. But
sure,
I'll get some people and or droids over here. We'll get that piece of wonderful technology doing things again for you.
Don't worry, Gracchus knows that this ship is leftovers.
Okay, so maybe down the road we find you. Jai says find and then stops and just goes, "Steal you a better one."
I mean, that's always a plan.
Cool. Well, if you have any special request for your piece of junk, let me know and I'll let the techs know. And if you don't hear from your techs by like dinner, page me and I'll make sure they're still alive or not.
Actually, I have something for you that I thought would be quite interesting.
Okay.
As you see, I have my 6 Dark Troopers, but what you may not know is that there were a few more that got destroyed. Luckily for you, Gracchus is quite handy, and so those remnants have been collected. And Gracchus's idea was to upgrade Locke with those bits.
Jai Jai sits down on an ammo crate nearby, takes off his helmet, and looks at Grakus and just goes, I don't know if that's the best idea I've ever heard or the idea that will end up with all of us dead. But show me these parts and let's see what we can do with our murder boy.
Oh, they're
Somewhere in the ship, Anaka feels her bullshit, her like Jai bullshit detector going off.
It's a loud signal this time.
Yeah, Grakus will take you right to the Dark Trooper Bay, where just in, I guess, like a corner, all the remnants and broken bits of the other Dark Troopers are kind of just there.
I'm going to start sorting through them and seeing what we have. And then we'll decide what's going on where. At some point, though, I am going to go and grab the Captain Roger, from the ship as well. Don't worry about it.
I will go ahead and tell you, you've got enough parts there for about, like, collectively, that equate to 1.5 Dark Troopers, essentially.
Interesting.
So, do with that what you will.
Okay. I would like to do a mechanics check then.
Okay.
I want to get locked down there in the bay, or in the Dark Trooper Bay. And like, we're gonna try and see, like, can we cut some of this plating to like upgrade some of his armor stuff? Can we like upgrade his, like, one of his blasters or something? Like, I just want to like get him down there and just like start trying pieces together with him to see what works, what he feels good about, and what we can do with this.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and do a roll.
Well, that's only a 16. That feels bad. Do I have any bonuses right now?
The only thing we have on the board, Ilsa has an advantage. I have a crit, and that's all we've got right now, aside from
you still have a
points and
crit? That's
destiny
great.
points.
I'm going to use a force point then.
Okay. Oh no.
Use another one. There we go. All right, so that's 23.
Okay, with the 23, yeah, you find some stuff that works, a lot of stuff that doesn't. So like upgrading the armor on him with bits of it, you find that there's a trade-off. Excuse me. You can put more armor on him, but then he will not be able to roll, which is his faster mode of locomotion. So there's a pretty big trade-off for that, but there is the like shoulder-mounted rocket launcher that the Dark Troopers have, that you are able to basically make like a modular arm for Locke, so you can take off one of his normal arms that has the blaster and swap it out for that, and that will work.
Okay, then we'll start with that, and if we need to do more stuff later, we can. What I'll do is I will. So I'll go ahead and make the modular arm. I'll go ahead and install it on him, and then like tell him he can go up to the top hull and like shoot at like space debris to test it out. But only space debris, Locke. No ships, no people, not this ship. Debris.
Locke does respond with like, what if the ship is a piece of debris?
If you shoot at it, it will become debris, which is not the same thing and not what we want out of this exercise.
Many times over the course of my period of activation, I have heard ships referred to as pieces of junk.
Yes, this is not. This is our new home.
But what about other pieces of junk in the sky that fly by?
Right now, they're all going to be Mandalorians. So that's going to have to be a no right now, buddy. But as soon as we get to a place that's full of Imperial ships flying around, I will let you go out on the hull and just go ham on them.
So Mandalorian ships are not pieces of junk, but Imperial ships are pieces of junk, except for this one, which is our home.
Yes.
Roger, Roger. And he starts going towards the hull. And you realize at that point that the Locke's apparently been spending a lot of time with Captain Roger.
That's concerning on another level.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and like make some of the armor plating into pieces that we can like pop on to Locke if we need to. Like if we need to give him basically like a blade of armor, more or less. And we'll I think that's all I'm going to do with it right now. I'm going to kind of catalog the rest and store it. And I'm probably going to claim the Dark Trooper Bay as my workshop / room.
Okay. I think Gracchus has already claimed it, so you may have to...
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that yours, Gracchus?
Gracchus has literally only claimed 2 places.
I'm sorry. What did you claim?
Yeah, the Dark Trooper Bay and storage closet that he's
No, then I will not do that. I will go find an actual workshop or build
renovated.
One. Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of other. There are other like regular droid work areas.
Oh, cool! I will go find one of those. Yeah, I will go find one of those to make mine. I will ask if Gracchus minds if I take the Dark Trooper parts with me, with the promise of like free repairs and upgrades on his 6 when they need them.
Gracchus doesn't mind. Gracchus literally saved it for the purpose that you would use it.
Oh, that's very nice, Gracchus. Thank you.
Jai, I need I forgot to mention, I need a perception roll for you.
Oh, no.
For something from last session that you would have had an opportunity to look at.
29?
Would you like to throw a force point onto that? You can't see me, but I'm nodding my head.
30?
Wow.
Yep. Perfect. You're going to be really happy with this.
Good.
So, I'm going to roll this Die Hard Dice Fey Queen D4. You find 2 small pieces of the Cortosis weave material from those Dark Troopers that is salvageable. It's not enough to make much armor or anything, but it's useful. Like if you tried really hard, you maybe could get a gauntlet out of it. Like there's enough material for that, but that's how much material of it that it was not vaporized that you were able to find.
Okay, I have an idea percolating in my brain. I'm gonna let it cook for a little bit, and I will probably just come back to me later. We'll have some. I have an idea.
Yeah, no worries. And then Anaka, what have you been doing through all of this?
So see 2 Mandos in the back room of a bar, manageable. More than that, she doesn't really care for it. So she stays mostly out of the way to herself. I'd say the only other real thing of note that she's probably done in the past couple days is maybe challenge Kieran again to more sparring. Now that she has that competitive spark in her, it shows up more frequently, and so she'll just show up and be like, "Yeah, it's sparring time. Let's go."
Yeah, Kieran's actually very excited about that and matches your energy with it. And yeah, the 2 of you are able to spar. Is there anything in particular that Anaka would try to do or want to talk about during the sparring?
not particularly talking. I feel like the relationship between Anaka and Kieran is like, hey, listen, I hate you and what you used to stand for, but you're a damn good sparring partner, and I will crush you in the number of opponents that we've both defeated. So for now, there's enough of a friendly relationship here that I'm not going to kill you or make an attempt to.
Oh my god, I just realized something.
What?
Anaka and Kieran are basically becoming like Goku and Vegeta.
I know who you're talking about, but I haven't watched it. I don't quite get the flavor. So I apologize, that's lost on me. But I can picture them in my mind, so.
Basically, like, to put it in a nutshell, like, Vegeta starts out as Goku's enemy, and then is just like begrudgingly respectful, like tag along, and then they eventually, very slowly over a number of years, become friends. And Vegeta eventually goes the, well, maybe I won't kill you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds about right, I suppose. Yeah, so Anaka is more focused on Kieran can help me train and spar, and last a bit longer than these techs who are being bothered by other people, instead of just like pulling random people in and being like, hey, you're sparring with me now. Kieran can hold her own. So I feel like there's a lot more of the kind of dirty underhand tricks, trying to get those past Kieran a little bit more because they're more fun. Not because she's trying to do any damage, but because they're more fun. And now that she realizes that Kieran has a few of those up her sleeve as well, Anaka thinks it's very amusing to trade blows like that and see what other kind of tricks Kieran has up her sleeves as well. So much of that.
Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, Kieran definitely seems better prepared to anticipate your dirty tricks this time. But some of them still do catch her off guard. And she tries a couple herself, including one which is to essentially she just makes her lightsaber a lot brighter. And it effectively works kind of like a flashbang without the bang. So it's possibly quite disorienting.
I don't know if Anaka would be wholly impressed by that. It's interesting for sure, but she doesn't give any indication. Like if Kieran does something that's particularly like dirty or underhanded, every now and then she'll get like a noise of just Anaka appreciatively making some little noise, but that doesn't particularly get anything from her.
That's totally fine. All right, cool. Well, Kieran seems to also enjoy the sparring session quite a bit, and then for the rest of the session you'll get a +1 on attacks with lightsabers.
Sweet, thank you.
Yeah. And then welcome in, Nikki. What is Ilsa doing? We've had a day or two on the ship for people to get sort of settled, and we're kind of looking at what everybody's doing during the down period while you're waiting for something, some new mission or something like that to come up. So what's Ilsa up to?
I think she started to make like meals again, like like she was doing before.
Awesome.
And are there like books that she can read to learn more about her abilities, her new abilities?
There aren't on the ship.
Okay.
Like Jedi and Sith holocrons do exist. They're pretty rare. But you could probably talk to Kieran and or Anaka about that, or possibly see if they have any knowledge or resources on where stuff like that might be?
Okay. She will see if they have any resources. I don't think she's going to ask them for any training.
Okay. Let's see.
Probably think they'll say no. So.
V, could I get a galactic lore knowledge roll from you?
Alright, 1 second. Galactic lore.
Yeah.
Let me see what I got. I think it's all the same. It's all pretty low. Let me see. Oh, not too bad, I guess. 19.
A 19, okay. Yeah, you don't have any material with you, but you actually are familiar with a location where a Sith holocron has been reported to exist. Essentially, you never went there yourself. You haven't seen it with your own eyes, but you do know that it exists, and you know roughly where it is on the planet. So you could relay that information to Ilsa and suggest maybe going to go get it if you want to, or you can keep that to yourself. It's entirely up to you.
Sorry, could you just refresh me on what was the context of me knowing this information? I was talking to my mom. She's going up to bed, so I missed that part.
Oh, you know from previous training and the people that Anaka used to work with that this exists and where it is. You never saw it yourself. You've never been to the location where it is, but reliable source has told you where it is.
Okay, did you say like Ilsa's looking for that, or?
Yeah, Ilsa was asking for resources on how to use the Force, essentially.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So you can share that information with Ilsa or not. It's up to you.
And Ilsa, you came specifically asking for that, for information on?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, if Ilsa outright asks about it, Anaka would probably offer a little of that information, but nothing too detailed. Just like, I have it on good authority that there might be a holocron nearby, like that sort of thing. Just vaguely. She doesn't say where she got that information or how she knows or anything like that. But just offers it as like it exists.
Go ahead, sorry.
So thank you for that, Anaka, because she's curious and wasn't even expecting you to say yes or any of that.
All right. If you do ask Kieran as well, the only thing that she knows to suggest is that there's a lot of information at the Jedi Temple on Yavin. But she's like,
that she doesn't want to go to.
Yeah, and it's like, well, there's a lot of information on Yavin, but then we'd have to go to Yavin, so she's like,
and a location not near there, right?
I don't think Anaka, you didn't even say like what planet it's on, right?
No, she just said nearby that she knows of.
Okay. I don't know what else that she could do.
Okay.
I guess and just work on her skills herself.
All right. Yeah, if you're wanting to make meals and stuff too, like, you're more than welcome and able to take over the mess hall on the Star Destroyer. There's no set NPC cook or chef, so if that's something Ilsa wants to do, you can absolutely do that as well.
Oh yeah, she take over.
Love that.
If
Yeah.
I have a question. So this was Venator, and like, yeah, it served with the Empire, but they were pretty thrifty when it came to upgrading the ships. What sort of role would it take to find out if one of the old Jedi training rooms was just like converted into a cargo bay or something? What would it take for Jai to stumble on that?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think that would also be a galactic lore role.
Oh no. Please be good. Please be good. Please be good. Please be good. No.
12. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, you don't know enough about those to know to look for it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Ah, well.
But if at some point you want to go try to hunt down more information about Venators, you could potentially find schematics that would let you know to start looking for something like that.
That's gonna be something that Jai's going to this unattached to the whole like, I want my friends to have a place where they can actually like practice this weird space magic that they do, and preferably not in a place where Mandos will always see them doing it, because that's just going to lead to trouble. But also in like this is my ship now, I have to care for my ship. Jai is going to make a request that we track down Venator plans and schematics and things.
Okay.
So
to use some video game analogies here, like, Ilsa, your conversation about the holocron has opened up a potential mission that you can go on. That mission is available to you, and then Jai, if you're wanting to track that down, there are, totally not borrowing from a recent episode of Bad Batch, but there are planets with junkyards with a bunch of old Venators that you could probably find some of that info on.
Perfect.
So that's another mission objective that is now available should you want to pursue it.
Awesome.
There's also, because Bevan's going to be busy settling people and picking people up essentially for a while, but you do know about the new Sith Lord that's over on over by Endor. There's still the issue of the fact that like they're blocking out all transmissions coming out of there. Darth Jin. Wow, words are really hard. Darth Jen is still out there, so there's a few other things that you could sort of investigate there, and Mandalore is still occupied, so you can work towards trying to liberate that. That probably would be quite a few missions to get to that point. And the Star Destroyer still needs weapons, so you can try to locate those. Or if you have other suggestions of things that you want to do now, feel free to throw those out as well.
Can we like be going over these options in like a meeting or over a meal or something, so that we can all discuss it?
That would make sense. Yeah, I would think maybe on the Wayfarer.
Are you all cool with that?
Yeah. Family meeting in the good ship.
Well, if you say that, Grickus definitely doesn't show up.
Oh.
Please show up.
Fine. Family meeting in the Imperial Al Duce.
Well, okay, else we'll say it's a required meeting.
Oh.
Mandatory meeting. Yeah, but that makes total sense to me. Who starts the conversation on the ship over, presumably over dinner?
Yeah, what's for dinner first? What's the spread look like?
I don't know, space chicken.
space chicken.
Fried pork. Got it.
Oh my goodness.
And like just fancy space chicken with fancy vegetables and rice and whatever. She made it really nice for y'all. And use the good napkins.
Nice. So Jai's just gonna like hit a button on the table and make like a hologram of just like an empty checklist show up and just be like, all right, so we have a home now. That's cool. And then like he like types a couple things and it's like free Mandalore pops up at the top and it's like, so we should get our real one back. And then looks over at Kieran and Anak and goes like, it would be really cool if y'all helped, please.
Well, I don't know if my family's still on there.
But we're gonna be on there. And you can have new family there. And we'll find your family. And also put our muddy boots all over your Imperial family's good furniture. That's still part of the plan. Jai makes another thing show up on the to-do list to like, just like annoy Ilsa's Imperial family.
Nice.
All right, and I'll try not to get as angry as I got before when I saw Mandalore. That's when she went on her rampage.
Yeah.
Kieran just kind of looks at... Yeah, Kieran just looks at Elsa and sort of nods, like, yeah, learning how to control that is important.
That's why she wanted to do a book or HoloCons.
Yeah, and there's like no judgment coming from Kieran on it, but she's just like, oof, yeah, we probably should help you, control that. Also,
they were all bad people that died, so.
Oh, yes, very, very, very bad people. Meta knowledge, you also know of a couple of names that you were looking for that are out there, and roughly where they are.
Yes.
So you are welcome to suggest that as an objective as well. Excuse me, just as a reminder.
I have to find that information in my notebook. I know it's here somewhere. The names and stuff.
I have it written down somewhere as well. Where was it?
I use one notebook for this and Animus, and the Deus stuff, so it's gonna take me a hot minute. It's fine.
No worries. Vice Admiral Tyrion Char, which I think is a full admiral now, if I remember right.
Oh yeah, we don't like him. He's a dick. Didn't he go all the way up to Grand Admiral?
Yeah, you're right. It is Grand Admiral. So I think he's, if I remember right, he's part of the whole thing on Endor. As is Grand Admiral Thaddeus Fell and the other Sith.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got it. Dark
so
Necks.
Yes. So just reminders of things that are out there in case players have forgotten. And yes, Darth Nex. Darth Nex and Darth Djinn. And still don't know who's which in terms of apprentice and master.
Right. Oh boy, I really hope Jin is the master because I don't want to know who can train him. That seems scary. Jai's gonna also type on there, like, after hearing the conversation between Ilsa and Kieran, it's like, Ilsa learns to control temper. What else we got, crew?
Merrick's probably suggests that the entire crew learn how to play Raid Shadow Legends, or whatever the card game name is.
Ilsa's going to say she doesn't have that bad of a temper.
Jai just looks at Ilsa for a minute, and then like goes back into the to-do list and goes, "Help Ilsa control her temper a little bit."
Around whatever bite of food Anaka is shoveling into her mouth, she goes, "Yeah, 1,000 different Imperials would beg to differ."
They deserved it.
Oh, believe me, I'm not disputing the degree to which they deserved to lose their lives. In fact, power to you. I'm just saying.
Moore would have not taken out more.
I'm just saying, from someone who does not often display the sort of behavior that would kill 1,000 men, we might just change that back, Jai, on your list to just temper.
Okay. Jai changed that back.
She leans over and points at it.
That's probably, look, we're not unhappy with the result. It's just a little bit of a red flag that we should just, maybe keep an eye on.
Anaka takes a moment to swallow whatever food's in her mouth, and she's like, just next time you're gonna kill 1,000 people at once, you just want to make it more definitive, right? You want to know that that's the decision you're making, and it was a very good decision, and I support you in that. But just think about it for maybe 5 more seconds before you do it, and then do it. But at least you thought about it first. In that case, just makes a little more sense.
Did they think about what they were doing before they destroyed Mandalore?
Wouldn't be able to tell you a whole lot about that. But like I said, I'm not countering your decision. In fact, I think it was a great decision. She goes back to eating.
Cool. So temper, yeah.
I think Kieran leans
Go
over
ahead.
and just types in something like over your shoulder there, Jai. And the next one's just like, find reliable therapist.
What's a therapist? I heard a Mandalorian one time say his rifle was his therapist, but I felt like that was a bad joke.
Yeah, a rifle is more of like a coping mechanism. A therapist is like, well, we had Jedi counselors.
Could you?
Temple, but
Could you put a rifle on a lightsaber?
yeah,
Or a lightsaber on a rifle?
it's literally canon of a blaster lightsaber, and from Rebels.
I want one of those.
The blaster eats lightsabers. It's the best thing.
It's pretty cool.
I would like one of those.
Okay.
Jai types in lightsaber blaster and then just like looks at Kieran and Anaka and goes, "What do you think? I can probably just make that, right?" And then just doesn't really wait for a response and then just like, "Yeah, we can do that." Graykus, what do you got?
Under her breath, Anaka's just like, well, if you were good enough with a lightsaber, then you wouldn't need a blaster part to it.
Hey, how many Force users do the Mandalorians regularly kill with blasters?
Anaka shrugs.
Anaka, I'm new to this, Anaka. I haven't trained like some people.
Kieran just smirks at the exchanges, and then when Jai says that, just sort of does like the ooh kind of noise, like the shots fired kind of a expression, and then comments and says, "Yeah, Jai, I've actually seen something like that once before. I can help you with some of the initial design work if you want."
Yeah, we're gonna make you a new toy, Elsa. Oh, hey, that actually reminds me. Anaka, do you want any lightsaber upgrades? Apparently, I'm good at them.
Think about it. Get back to you.
Okay.
And then also when Ilsa mentions I haven't been trained, Kieran does smirk over at Anaka and goes, yeah, where did you get your training again, by the way?
Anaka just points to herself, like looks to see if she's the one being addressed. Look over her shoulder.
Kieran smirks and goes, no, not you, Anaka, the other, Force user over next to you.
She looks to the side of her. As if waiting for someone to speak. She doesn't say anything. She's fully playing into the sarcasm. She's just waiting.
Kieran's just like, oh, huh, interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Are you talking to me? Oh, very good. I was born with it.
Yes. Born with training already happened. That makes sense.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Sith.
Probably trained. If I'd been trained, I could have killed a bunch of evil people one-handed like you did.
One day, also, one day.
So
Don't count yourself out.
Kieran speaks up again and just says, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, Anaka. I understand. I just think it's interesting that you clearly have a lot of training, but we don't really know where that training came from.
Yeah, it's very interesting indeed. I do agree.
Kieran just smirks and shrugs and sort of drops it at that, but...
Okay, so Grakus, what you got? You got a thing we need to do?
Rickus hasn't really been paying attention to the conversation.
Just head down in a bowl of soup or something?
No. Food finished ages ago. Mine just elsewhere. What does Grakus want? Nothing really.
Okay.
Do you want seconds?
No, Grakus is fine.
More for me.
All right, so our current list says Mandalore, free Mandalore. Awesome. Get muddy boots all over Ilsa's Imperial family's house. Totally doable. They live on Bastion, right? That's an important place. That'll be a fun day. Help Ilsa manage temper. How are we doing that one?
I'd like to think there's a space cricket that just starts chirping on the ship right now.
So nobody thinks it's a problem.
Look, the results are great. We just want you to be able to execute 1,000 people in a more controlled and expected way.
So next time we plan it, and I just sneak onto the ship ahead of time, slaughter everyone, and then you all join me.
I mean, we could try that. That might be a little boring for the rest of us. And
so we need 2 ships. I
Okay,
spotted
yeah.
everyone on one, and you all took the other.
This seems totally doable. Yeah.
Kieran
He looks at
does
Anaka
chime
and Kieran's
in.
like, yeah, this is the plan?
I know of some resources. There's a holocron that I know about on Yavin that helps with not giving in to certain urges when you're angry, and instead being able to control the anger instead of letting it control you. But we would have to steal it from the Jedi Temple.
There's power in anger.
So
Sure.
Anaka looks very perked up at the thought of stealing from Jedi, but then when Ilsa says that, she like swivels in Ilsa's direction, just like impressed all over her. Like her expression is so impressed. It's like when your child does something the first time and you're like, wait a damn minute. So yeah, she's just looking at Ilsa like, what did she say?
What does A stand for? Arson.
Let the anger guide you.
This all seems perfectly fine.
Kieran's like, yeah, so you're not wrong. However, power is a tricky thing. She sort of points to the ship around them, and it's like, so take this ship for example. The engine produces a lot of power, but if you don't direct it through, you know, the thrusters in the back, it just goes everywhere, and then everybody in the ship dies. Or it explodes, and that's bad. So you need to know how to direct the anger.
Under her breath, Anaka responds with, yeah, everybody in the ship dies. You're no stranger to that, eh, Ilsa?
My ship don't explode. I don't know what ship y'all have been on, but this ship doesn't explode.
Right, because you know how to direct the power from the engine so that it doesn't explode, because you've had training.
Oh, no, I just figured it out. Previous ships blew right up. I'm glad I was wearing Beskar, but...
Yeah, we
Dad
want to
was
avoid that.
mad.
Yeah, see, we want to avoid the ship blowing up part, because not everybody wears Beskar. Also, Beskar conducts electricity, and a lot of angry force powers are electricity involved.
Huh. Oh, you're doing a metaphor.
Yes, Jai, I'm using a metaphor.
Oh. So what's this holocrono thingo? What that?
A holocron, it's sort of like a Jedi or Sith repository for knowledge. You can a lot of times they're made by specific Jedi Masters or Sith Lords, and you can ask a simulation of them questions and get answers back and learn things. It's how our traditions have passed on knowledge from people who are no longer with us.
Huh. So they're just like lying around in places that you can go get?
If you know where to look, yeah. The Empire kinda captured or destroyed a lot of them. So they're pretty rare. Unless
And
you know who has one.
they'll help with the whole, like, I've read some books and listened to audiobooks and whatever, but they never like taught me how to not be furious.
These are like interactive books, Jai. Simulated teacher.
You Jedi types are weird.
You're not wrong.
Huh. So we know we can go steal one from a bunch of the goody goodies, which Anaka seemed to enjoy the thought of. Anything else? Any other place we can go find one of these that maybe doesn't involve a magic militant arm of the New Republic getting mad at us? Not saying no, just like if there's another option.
Kieran chimes. I could ask around, see if I hear any rumors about where another Jedi one might be located. Or there is the option of Sith ones, but you know, that no offense to Anaka, but or Grakus, but the Sith ones can, depending on who's looking at it and how they react to some of the information, can amplify the problem rather than solve it.
What's so wrong with Sith stuff?
What was that? Sorry.
Sorry. What's so wrong with Sith stuff? You know?
Anaka puts her chin in her palm and looks at Kieran expectantly.
Jai like just leans out of this conversation and just goes, "Go ahead."
Kieran just sort of gives Anaka a cheeky smile back. Just like, the same thing that's wrong with the Jedi. They are...
Oh, well, I don't like them either.
What?
I don't like them either. I'm an independent person, space magic person.
Pretty much where I landed on things too. But whereas the Jedi go to one extreme of like no emotion, the Sith go to another extreme of almost like nothing but emotion. The two extremes can be dangerous in different ways.
Well, I'm not close to either extreme.
Kieran sort of like looks out the window at, you know, the Star Destroyer and is like, yeah, no, that wasn't extreme what happened on the ship at all.
Well, no, we could have done worse.
Kieran is literally at a loss for words. He's just sort of like, okay.
Whatever, I'm getting the cake now.
Cake?
She made cake, so she's going to get up and get it.
Literally, I posted it in Discord, literally what Kieran's like right now.
Well, if cake's coming out, Grakus will politely excuse himself.
Not a
From
fan of cake, huh?
dessert. Doesn't like to indulge.
That's fair. Alright. Well, out of the objectives that are on our to-do list, are there any others that you all want to add, and then what do you want to focus on first?
Jai will type Venator plans. He will eventually remember that indoor is an ongoing situation, and will type indoor question mark. And he'll type out like probably just during like cake, eventually he'll also remember, oh right, freaky bad dude with the floaty swords.
All right.
So are all these places on like opposite ends of the galaxy?
Sorry, say one more time.
Are all of these places like on opposite ends of the galaxy? Or can we like draw a line?
They're not necessarily like on opposite ends of the galaxy. Some of them are close together, but these objectives are pretty spread out. Yeah. Yeah, they are pretty spread out. Bastion's pretty far out there. Yavin's pretty far out there. What are our other options on our list?
Indoor's the only other place. Well, Indoor is on there, and I think Bastion is the only other place that has like a specific location to go annoy Ilsa's Imperial family. Oh, and
Right.
Mandalore.
Yeah. And you're currently not terribly far away from Mandalore. So you're probably close to Anaka's holocron, if Anaka shares that information with the whole class. You're not... Like the closest next would be Yavin, I think. Indoor's probably the farthest away, and then Bastion the second furthest.
So Ilsa's going to suggest, this is Ilsa's suggestion, it's not Nikki, but that to take back Mandalore and then do all the other stuff, and then she'll take care of the Imperials.
Jai's just gonna go like,
But that's Ilsa suggested that.
Jai's gonna go like, I think Bevan's working on that, and that might be like, we're doing that. Like, whoa, we're doing that. That's just gonna take a minute because we've only got like 10 of us on board. Yeah, we need like
11
more.
11.
So it's like,
so you like just 2 or 3 Anakas and 2 or 3 me's and 2 or 3 just a few of us doubled up, and we should be able to take care of it.
I mean, you're right, but Bevan doesn't believe that yet.
I think this is when Kieran also chimes in like, oh yeah, power that comes from anger and the dark side can also lead to a false sense of confidence, just as another danger that they warned us about.
I mean, in her defense, we haven't lost yet.
True, but the type of missions that we do is usually like, if we lose, then we're dead. So, just saying, maybe don't want to, play with those odds if we don't have to.
So if all of these things are true, why aren't they more widely known? If all of this anger is going to lead to whatever mean stupidness.
I feel like at this point, like, Kieran puts an arm around Ilsa's shoulder and is like, let me go tell you a story, and then like relays the entirety of the events of the Clone Wars series. And Rebels. And it's like, and that's why we don't have Sith and Jedi very much anymore. Why aren't they widely known? One word: Palpatine. That's why.
Oh yeah, that guy who's still alive.
Apparently. Possibly.
I reject that reality.
I think Ilsa did share that.
Oh yeah, you did.
Well, Ilsa had a moment. So she's worried about that. So yeah, you sobered her up here. Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, Kieran essentially sums up the events of the Clone Wars series with Ilsa to explain why there's not Jedi and why things like this are not widely known anymore.
Well, then we should save Endor until we get some more resources, if that's the case.
Save Endor. Drakus finds this humorous.
Why, Grakus?
That you think there's anything left to save.
Okay, but there are bad guys there that we can go beat up.
Drakus just smiles.
We can maybe find you some more robots.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think we should go next, Grakus?
I go wherever you go.
Okay, so we need to go find some. It looks like the best plans right now are steal a holocron from Jedi and go find plans for a Venator. Those seem like the easier plans that we can just do in an afternoon, maybe.
Sorry.
I mean, look, last time we just landed on the Jedi planet, just like wandered around and took an A-wing, so Jai has a bad gauge of danger for that mission.
Yeah.
Did you forget about the snakes?
I'm not going on. Those snakes are nasty. Like, look, I kind of figured y'all would go do the space magic thing, and like Grakus and I and Merrick's would go get Venator plans.
Which is on Braca, by the way. Which is
heck yeah, Braca.
Which is also, if I remember right, that's going to be mid-rim, so that's going to be closer than Yavin. From where you are now, if I remember my positioning correctly.
Cool, yeah.
Star Wars Galaxy's really big.
Yes. Is quite large. So I figured we were gonna like just y'all handle the. He's just like gestures at like Anaka and Kieran and Ilson's like, y'all go steal some holocrons or whatever your space magic boxes are, and he like waves at Mirex and Grakus. We'll go steal some plans for this ship so we can make it real big. Ooh, maybe we can get some guns.
Can you get a gun for me since I have to go do the space magic stuff?
I will start trying to find out how to make you a super big gun thing.
Yes, and I can use it to kill more Imperials.
Okay, yeah, like look, we all want to kill the Imperial. Yes.
Yeah.
He just kind of like looks at Anaka. It's like, help.
Yeah, we should probably go get that holocron sooner rather than later.
I don't want to hurt any of you. You're my space family.
And
Jai looks to Anaka. When Jai looks to Anaka, Anaka just like shrugs, like, what do you want me to do?
Jai just looks lost, like, it's very much just like, I don't freaking know, help. Take over the situation, do something, help.
In case you haven't noticed, throughout however many episodes we've done so far, Anaka rather enjoys chaos. So
yes, Jai is just reaching the end of his leadership battery for today.
It's fair.
Oh, can we do a shopping trip in there? I want to buy some more plants. This ship doesn't have enough.
The duality of Ilsa is something else.
It's amazing.
We're gonna go from 100 to 0 real fast. Kill the Imperials, but first let's buy some plants.
Home and work, okay?
I can't do
He's
a
kind of
murder if the feng shui is wrong.
Oh my god, a work-life balance. I love that.
And look,
Kieran-
the dead Imperials might be good fertilizer for the plants.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
Sorry.
Kieran will suggest
That was
that. No, that was beautiful. Dark, but beautiful. Kieran will just remind her, be like, Yavin has a lot of plants that we could get some, we could get some clippings or seeds or things from.
Has anybody checked on our plant friend in the brig?
Oh no. Jai just like pulls the wrench out and just like throws it at the control panel.
Which control panel?
To open the brig door.
Oh my gosh.
It's like right there.
Yeah, but does Jai remember what plants in the brig?
No, I don't know. Y'all said, have we checked on plant friend and brig? And Joe was like, what's in my brig?
Oh no.
Oh, so you're just throwing it to open it, not to break the panel.
Oh no, to open it, yeah.
Okay,
God.
okay. Yeah, it opens. Immediately some vines start creeping along the floor.
Close it!
I don't know what would constitute a plant looking hungry, but whatever that is, this plant has it.
Close it, please. Hurry and close it.
There's like some rustling, shaking, chittering noises coming from inside the brig.
Jai is just like arms crossed, looking at Ilsa now.
It's hungry. Please close it unless you want it to eat all of us.
I'm on this side of the table surrounded by people.
Yeah, but it'll come for you next.
Cool, someone on that side of the table should close it then. Or a magic person.
Anaka's gonna get up from the table. And, if we're gonna have Ilsa doing what she's doing, Anaka needs to have her go big or go home moment, right? Anaka's gonna ignite the lightsaber, cut off the creeping vines, and slam the panel shut.
Love that.
So what happened to my brig?
Real quick before you continue that conversation, Anaka, when you cut those vines, there is like an unearthly hissing screeching sound. Words are hard. An unearthly hissing screeching sound that comes from inside the brig, and all of the vines and everything shake and rustle more. But yeah, you get the door closed.
While she's shutting the door, she bares her teeth and hisses back.
So, what had happened?
I remember that being a useful space where we could put idiots.
Yeah, what had happened was when I got some plants, they sort of started to like to eat and they started to take over. So when Muxa was still here, she and I kind of stuck them in the brig because they were trying to take over everything else.
Anaka fixes the lightsaber hilt back to her waist, and she looks at Jai with an eyebrow raised, and she's like, "Jai, sweet, we can still chuck the morons in there. That doesn't stop anything."
They
Jai
might not be
does not.
hungry to do that.
You're not wrong, and I hate it. Is that still going to try to take over the whole ship?
Well, I mean, if we wasted a bunch of. Oh my God, I can't say it. I'm sorry.
I know where you're going with it. Yep.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Basically, instead of a brig, you have your own little mini Sarlacc pit that just eats things a lot faster.
Good. That's better. So okay. So that's a whole. Jai turns back to the to-do list and puts at the very bottom just death plant ? Okay, we'll put a pin in that. No one opened that door for a while. Maybe the problem will take care of itself. Or we can find a desolate moon for it to take over. Both good. Or an abandoned space station. Just somewhere where it can thrive and not eat us in our sleep. Cool.
I mean, Braca would be a good candidate for that.
Can I pick up that, can Breakus go over and pick up that, you said cut a bit off?
Yeah, the vines, they're still on the ground. They're wriggling around like worms, but they're not, like trying to grab anything or whatnot. They're just sort of
It might like
twitching.
some leftover chicken.
Just twitching. Slowly dying.
Yeah, basically.
Breakus is so very interested by this plant. Breakus will go over towards the door and start whispering to the plants.
Also,
Oh
will
my
tell
goodness.
Breakus what she knows, what it likes, so, because she had it in her room for a while. For a long time.
He'll start what it's like. Okay. Breakus just nods his head, and I think I'd like to see, or at least Breakus would be curious to see if he could sort of bring the plants in line with a little bit of that thing they call the Force.
Sure. Go ahead and try use the force check.
It's like
And then,
curiously.
We lost V, but she said her phone died, so she's grabbing a charger.
Oh, no.
She'll be back.
Hmm.
So Nikki's video window is a little askew at the moment, but it'll be fixed soon.
So yeah.
It's
Breakus
okay,
gets-
I'm used to being askew.
Breakus gets very creepy by the door, leaning closer and whispering and holding the vine in one hand, and then with just the left hand, the fingers start to wiggle. Just slightly. As if weaving something. And let's see. 27.
Nice. So yeah, you are not only able to communicate with the plant, but you can keep this vine in your hand from dying and like help it grow a new root structure if you would like. And then feel free to add any flavor or additions to that you would like.
Ooh, I can build the plant. Ooh, yes. I'd like that, but I have to know that it's not gonna just go rampant immediately. So,
At least for the moment, you're able to communicate with the plant, and it has a very basic level of intelligence, so it's mostly listening to you.
yeah, what Breakus is doing here, and Breakus sort of after a moment looks at Jai and is like, "You wouldn't happen to have a box, would you?"
Jai he is communicating through, he's just kind of just like, this is my life now. Okay. All right. And he goes back to his workbench and you hear some things like being tossed around. And then he comes back with a box, like an old like ammo box or something. Just like, he sets it on the table and opens the lid. It's like, if you promise that you're okay with us, like maybe putting the big one onto Braca when we go there and letting it take over that hell world, yes, here's a box.
Breakus will, let the vine take sort of root, or at least make root. And what Breakus has done here is he forcefully brought the plant that, or at least that's what he was attempting to forcefully bring the plant that's in the brig just in line, because he wanted to see if he could. And with this new one, he's kind of whispering to it, telling it that its time will come.
Ilsa's going to offer
Basically,
the chicken and be like, for the plant.
yeah, basically telling it to settle down. Then he put it in the box, and then throw in the chicken as well.
Yeah, the one in the box just devours the chicken and then seems to calm down. quite a bit, while the one in the brig has a sort of like primal, urgent hunger about it that's making it hard to bring it in line, but it is calmer than it was before.
Oh, yeah.
But it's starving, essentially, because nobody's fed it in a rather long time.
Gracchus is, Gracchus is trying to, you know, not that the other characters know, but Gracchus is very clearly doing something here, which is fed this new entity almost immediately, and will continue to feed it, but he's starving the beast.
Okay. That can only end well.
Elsa does not agree with. She doesn't know this plan, but she does not agree with it. Even though the plan is vicious, she still loves her plants.
Gracchus is starving the beast because Gracchus has been there. Just more extra hints for you. But let's just say Gracchus has been in a similar place.
All right.
Of hunger and anger and really wanting to lash out. So, Gracchus...
Well, he should have just killed 1,000 Imperial.
Gracchus walks off with the little ammo box with the plants in it. And just continues to kind of talk to it and closes the box after a little while. Like, I don't have to get rid of this soon before it gets too big, but it's going to be fun to have around.
Jai looks delighted by all of these developments. It's great. It's great. It's great. It's great. It's great.
I also will explain that she didn't know that the plant was carnivorous. She just thought it was pretty.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Gracchus will.
All right. You know you can speak to it, right?
I did kind of when it was in my room and started to need food. But then it got too big for my room.
Did you use the Force?
I didn't know I could do that.
Try again. With the Force this time. You might be surprised by what feelings
She's going to try it because Gracchus said to.
I love that.
So I need to. Why don't I have Roll20 open?
Gracchus is watching this very, very intrigued.
I'm also laughing because just in my head I'm hearing like, can you use the Force to talk to plants? The answer may surprise you. More tonight at 10.
I wasn't even trying to talk. I was just trying to like vibe it out.
Yeah, Elsa has. I'm just playing it like Elsa has no idea. You know, she has no idea what she's doing with the whole Force thing. Just that it's sometimes useful.
Yeah.
You'll find the Force has many uses.
Excuse me.
Well, I'm not going to get trained in Jedi school and be a Jedi. I'm not going to get trained in Sith school and be a Sith.
I didn't offer to train you.
I don't like school. Well, I don't want you to train me.
Yeah. So we're in agreement here then. I don't want to train you. You don't want to be trained by me. That was
exactly.
Advice.
No training allowed.
That was advice.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Oh, bad. What did she get?
15. What exactly are you trying to do again? Just communicate with it?
Yeah, because Gracchus said I could.
Whereas Gracchus was able to, with the 27 was able to like have an actual conversation with the plant a bit, being able to communicate words. For Ilsa, it's more like ideas and pictures that you're able to communicate. So it's not quite a full-on. There's some room for interpretation between what you're saying and what the plant is relaying. That makes communication a little bit confusing, but you are able to get sort of the gist of what you're wanting to communicate across.
Just, are you okay? What do you need?
And it's just a overwhelming, constant hunger is the sense that you get back.
Okay, Elsa's gonna be like, it wants Imperial blood.
Cool. I know a great place where we can dump it and it can eat all at once forever. He just like very quietly moves the bastion line
Can I
up.
communicate that back to it somehow?
Yeah.
Like ensure that we're going to give it all the food at once.
Yeah, you absolutely can relay that. It seems to pacify it for the moment.
And you just see this kind of like cinematic red light, and Elsa just kind of smiles.
Oh my god.
Nice. Taking that scene, Gracchus starts to giggle as he walks away to put the plant away because Gracchus totally thought Ilsa was going to feed it, but seeing that she hasn't, he kind of...
she gave Gracchus the chicken.
Seeing that you haven't fed the one in the brig, Gracchus sees this as quite funny and quite likes this turn of events. But doesn't say anything,
right.
just giggles.
She doesn't have any more chicken. And it's not enough for that big plant anyway.
Yeah, it needs like 2 whole chickens at this point with how big it is. Or you know, a humanoid. But where are you planning on going first then? It sounds like Brachus is probably the closest, so would that be your first stop?
Are we all going together as a team, or are we?
I think we should all go as a team.
You do have the option to split up because you do have multiple ships, but
There are plenty of ships, yeah. I mean, the closest one's Braca, right? Because we still don't know about the Sith holocron. So our options are Yavin and Braca right now.
Elsa's going to suggest you go as a team.
Okay.
She said we're not splitting the family up.
So let's stop at Braca real fast. You can see if it's a good home for an evil plant, and we can get some plans and maybe source some weaponry for our ship. Maybe find some interesting parts, and then we can go rob from Jedi. Seems like a good day.
Yeah.
All right.
Good plan.
You are able to fuel up for free on the Star Destroyer. So basically, anytime you need ammo or repairs or fuel, if you are able to get back to the Star Destroyer, you can get that without having to pay anything. In exchange, obviously, for doing some missions for them from time to time. And you effectively have like a organization support level now. They're not quite as well funded or not as many resources obviously as like the Rebel Alliance, but it is like similar to that type of loose military type structure to it. So that's something new that you have now. And then, yeah, on your way to Braca, unless there's anything specific that you want to do, we'll go ahead and fast forward to you getting to the planet. And as you reach it, you get into orbit, and you can look down and see that there's just this massive junkyard. And there are Star Destroyers of every make and type on there. There are some of the other capital ships that you would see from like the original Star Wars movies. There's some of those down there that are all, in varying states of battle damage and decay. Some probably like Corellian corvettes and things like that. and it just literally looks like a starship graveyard. There's this sort of thick mist sort of clings to the very bottom of the surface. So a lot of the ships that you're only able to see because, you know, a recognizable part of it is sticking up out of this mist. And the whole area just seems very creepy and quiet and sort of just... I can't think of the word I'm looking for here, but yeah, just really, really creepy and quiet and foggy. And yeah, I think that's actually probably a good spot to wrap up. So next week we'll go down and explore the planet, and hopefully you can find what you're looking for and not run into any nasty surprises down there. We'll find out next week. Before we go on a raid, I'm going to let everybody say what their favorite part was, where we can find them, and anything they want to share or plug. And then we'll go raid. Looks like we're going to raid Saito, who's awesome. So if you have any ideas for a raid cry, feel free to throw that into chat, and we'll take that with us when we go on the raid. So we're going to go reverse order from how we started. So Par, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything you want to share or plug?
Favorite part. I think. Boy. I think I liked Jai bossing people around. That's probably my favorite part. So I do think this season has had a lot of growth for Jai that kind of floats a little bit under the radar, but I think he's coming along. You can find me on Twitch at Mr. Par when I remember to stream. You can find me on Twitter at Par Professional for my quote-unquote professional projects. And Mr. Par for Eve for my personal projects. Next week at this same time slot, same campaign, same players. And I think that's me wrapped, right?
Yeah. All right. Matt, same questions.
Oh boy, favorite part. I did enjoy like bossing around those two techs, especially. Just that scene was very fun. But also the family planning meeting around the table was very good. I'm excited to see what we do with all of our plans now. You can find me on my Twitch channel, Fifth Draw Live, Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings. I'm on there. Tomorrow I'm going to be streaming some Minecraft. I'm working on a big mountain castle project, so that'll be a lot of good times, fun. I have a podcast called Hard Reboot, where myself and two friends take a public domain property and give it a fresh coat of paint. Our latest episode was one about the Three Musketeers, and it was very much fun. It was inspired by F-Zero, so let your mind percolate on that craziness. And here soon, I'm going to be opening an Etsy shop making custom lightsabers and maybe some more custom keyblades. We will see. So stay tuned for more information on that. Check my Twitter.
Awesome. And then, Nikki, favorite part, where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
I missed the beginning, so I was not here for all of that, but I did like how Greykiss kind of took over the plant. Like it just kind of became its own thing, and I didn't realize Jai didn't know about it, which was kind of fun. And just follow me on Twitter. Really cool.
All right. Next, we've got V. Same questions. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
I think for the most part, the favorite parts have been said. Yeah, the the surprise of Jai finding this giant plant, and everybody being like, "Oh yeah, we forgot to tell Jai that." Was really great. Yeah, the conversation around the table, Anaka being saucy and a little bit sassy this time. I think she's just gotten to the point now where she's like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to be sassy with everybody at this point. And yeah, Jai throwing the spanner, that was fun. It would have been a good point for Anaka to come in and scare those poor techs even more, but we'll let them live another day, I think. But as for me, you can find me online. I have an art Twitter, which is @PepperoDraws, and that's Peppero like the candy. It's there below my name card. Yeah, what's today? Today's Thursday. We always have Star Wars on Thursdays, and I ask every week what day of the week it is. It's Thursday. I will be here again on Saturday for Animus Absentus. And then the following Wednesday, I think we'll finally have the whole crew together, knock on wood. But we'll be picking up again with Exodus. And we're straggling along to the end of the campaign. Eventually we will get there. It'll be fine. We'll get there. I don't know when, can't give you a definitive end date, but we're doing okay. We had to hold off on a couple weeks because we were missing Yasmin, and it's kind of imperative that Bambi be there. So yeah, check that out next Wednesday. But that's me.
I just realized I'm muted. Dang it. What was I saying? All the parts that have already been mentioned, I really enjoyed all of that. And then also realizing that Anaka and Kieran are developing the sort of Goku and Vegeta dynamic was really funny for me. That tickled me. But yeah, the whole thing was really good. I enjoyed all of it. I'm excited to see what you all do on Braca next week. It'll be a lot of fun. And then where you can find me next will be tomorrow at noon Mountain Time, right back here for Neon Devils 2, which is really exciting. I've been having a lot of fun revisiting Tilda as my character for that particular game, and the world that Yaz has put together there is really cool. It's a lot of fun to play in. So there's that, and then tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Mountain Time will be Welcome to Madison, which we threw somebody to the man-eating corn last week, and learned some shocking information about our ties to the town.
There's a thing with me and plant eating people, isn't it?
Yeah. Not so, I guess not so much realized, but we're suspecting something. We don't know for sure if it's the case yet or not, but we might have some sort of ties to the town. But it's gonna be really good. That's 6 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow for that one. And then yeah, Saturday we've got It Snowed in April at noon, which is our Necrobiotic campaign, and then Animus Absentus at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Other things to share or plug, just our sponsors, once again, Fundamental RPG, which you can pick up on Amazon, or if you like the PDF version, you can get that at coffee.com/Raven. It's currently on sale until the end of July because I'm celebrating my birthday month, for 50% off. So if you've been thinking about picking up Fundamental and haven't, then right now is a really good time to do that, because it's just under $10, which is a really good deal. And then Intrepid gear, which is also on coffee.com/Raven, like it says at the bottom of the screen, which is adventuring gear for real life, apparel and drinkware and accessories and cool stuff like that with a tabletop or adventure theme to it. It's pretty neat. You should go check that out. Probably find a lot of things that you will enjoy. And then Die Hard Dice, which they sell incredible polymer and metal dice, and a lot of dice accessories and dice adjacent type products. They recently sent me this really pretty Fey Queen set, the Spellbinder Fey Queen. It is my favorite set out of all the ones I have, which is saying something. I rolled it tonight a few times. You can pick up your own set at dieharddice.com, and if you use the code BlackFeatherJune, all one word, capital B, capital J, you can get 10% off your entire order. And that code should work until the end of this month, up until the end of June. And then finally, if you want to catch up on this show or any others on the channel, you can do so at the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network. Just go to the stream library and look for Black Feather Guild, and that's where you can find all of our previous content. You can watch all of that there for free. You don't have to subscribe to anything or anything like that, so very cool stuff there. And then other things to share or plug as well is just another little tidbit. I'm working on a lot of stuff for Animus that will be coming up over the next few months. One of them is a Discord server, which is not open up to everybody yet, but it will be sometime soon. But I'm working on having this Discord server where you can actually go through and learn a lot about all the little worlds and locations and characters and things that show up in the Animus world, as well as spaces for roleplay if you want to play around in that world with your own characters. And then the hope is to eventually get that into its own tabletop option as well. So you can certainly already do some of that with just fundamental RPG and the information from the show, but hoping to get its own official book. So that's sort of some plans that are coming up down the line, but in the meantime, keep an ear out, keep an eye out on Twitter for when that Discord opens up, because that'll be really, really fun and interesting if you enjoy the Animus world, so or just sci-fi in general. But I think that's everything. So I put our raid cry together, which is we'll kill the Imperials, but first we buy plants, a good work-life balance. And we're going to go raid Saito, who's just fantastic. Give her a follow if you're not doing so already. Go say hi, and then I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.